Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're going to talk about two extremely effective techniques for improving your English: audiobooks and shadowing. These two methods are powerful, easy to use, and can make a big difference in how quickly you can speak and understand English. If you've ever struggled with speaking English or feeling confident in your language skills, these methods are for you. They will not only help you improve your listening and speaking skills, but also give you the confidence to use English every day. So, let's dive in and learn how audiobooks and shadowing can change the way you learn English. Section 1. Why audiobooks are amazing for learning English. Audiobooks are one of the best ways to improve your English, but why? Let's take a closer look at how they can help you. 1. Listening to native speakers. When you listen to an audiobook, you are hearing native speakers of English. The beauty of this is that you get to hear the language used, the way native speakers naturally use it. This is very different from what you might find in textbooks, where the language can sometimes sound unnatural. In audiobooks, you hear the real rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation of English, which helps you understand how to use the language naturally. If you've ever struggled to understand native speakers when you're listening to them in person or on TV, listening to audiobooks can help you get used to their accent and speed. Over time, this exposure to the natural flow of the language will make it easier for you to follow conversations in real life. 2. Learning vocabulary and One of the biggest challenges in learning English is building your vocabulary. You can memorize all the words you want, but it's much easier to remember them when you hear them used in context. Audiobooks provide exactly that, context. When you listen to a story or any type of content in English, you will hear new words and phrases in the context of a story or situation. This makes it much easier to understand their meaning and use them in your own conversations. For example, imagine you're listening to a book and the narrator describes a character as being lively. This word means energetic and full of life, but it's much easier to understand its meaning when you hear it used to describe a person. You start to associate the word with its meaning, and this helps you remember it better. Point 3. Improving pronunciation and accent. One of the best things about audiobooks is that you can hear how words are pronounced. In English, there are many words that are difficult to pronounce, especially because the pronunciation isn't always the same as the spelling. Listening to audiobooks helps you learn the correct pronunciation of words and helps improve your accent. If you listen carefully and repeat the words you hear, you'll be practicing the proper way to say things in English. This helps make your speech sound more natural and fluent. 4. Learning without stress. Sometimes, learning a language can feel stressful, especially when you're trying to speak and make mistakes. The good news is that listening to audiobooks allows you to practice passively. You don't have to worry about making mistakes or feeling judged. Instead, you can listen and absorb the language at your own pace, in a relaxed and enjoyable way. Section 2. How to maximize the benefits of audiobooks. Now that we know how beneficial audiobooks are, let's talk about how you can make the most of them. Here are some tips to help you get the best results from listening to a audiobooks. 1. Choose the right audiobook for your level. When you're just starting out, it's important to pick an audiobook that matches your English level. If you choose something too difficult, you might become frustrated. On the other hand, if you pick something too easy, you might not be challenged enough. Start with simpler books, like children's books or books specifically made for learners of English. As you get more comfortable, you can move on to more advanced books. 2. Listen to short segments and repeat and try to listen to an entire book in one go. Instead, break it up into small segments. Listen to a chapter or just a few minutes at a time. After you listen, stop the audiobook and repeat what you just heard. This will help you improve both your listening and speaking skills. You can pause the audiobook and try to repeat exactly what the narrator said. Focus on intonation, stress, and pronunciation. It's okay if you don't get it perfect at first. Just keep practicing, and you'll improve over time. 3. Follow along with the text if you can. Follow along with the text while you listen to the audiobook. This helps you connect the spoken words with the written ones. It also helps improve your reading comprehension, because you can see how the words are spelled while you hear them. If you don't have a physical book, many audiobooks offer free PDFs or digital versions of the text. You can read along as you listen, which helps reinforce what you're hearing. 4. Make audiobooks part of your routine. The key to improving your English is consistency. Try to make audiobooks part of your daily routine. Even if you can only listen for 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll still see improvement over time. You can listen during your daily commute, while you're exercising, or even while you're doing household chores. The more you listen, the more familiar you'll become with the language. Section 3. What is shadowing and why is it important? Now, let's move on to another technique that is just as powerful as audiobooks. Shadowing. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say at the same time. It's like copying their words and rhythm as closely as possible. Why should you shadow? Here's why. 1. It helps with pronunciation. Shadowing is great for improving your pronunciation because it forces you to pay close attention to how words are said. You'll practice saying the words the same way the speaker does, which helps you sound more natural and fluent in English. 2. It improves fluency. Shadowing also helps with fluency. When you repeat after the speaker, you start to speak more smoothly. You get used to the rhythm and flow of the language, and your speech becomes more automatic. Over time, you'll find yourself speaking more easily without having to think too much about grammar or vocabulary. 3. It boosts listening skills. Shadowing doesn't just help with speaking. It also improves your listening skills. As you repeat the words, you train your ear to recognize different sounds and patterns in English. This makes it easier for you to understand native speakers in real-life situations. Section 4. How to practice shadowing. Are some tips on how to practice shadowing effectively. 1. Pick a good an audio source that is clear and easy to understand. This could be an audiobook, a podcast, a YouTube video, or even a news clip. The key is to pick something with a native speaker who speaks at a natural pace. 2. Listen and repeat immediately once you've picked your audio. Listen to a short segment, just a sentence or two, and then repeat it immediately. Try to match the speaker's pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm as closely as possible. Don't worry if you don't get it perfect the first time. Just keep practicing. 3. Focus on intonation and stress. Pay attention to how the speaker emphasizes certain words and how they change their tone. English has specific patterns of stress, emphasizing some words more than others, and intonation, the rise and fall of the voice. This is an important part of sounding natural when speaking English. 4. Practice regularly. Just like with audiobooks, the key to mastering shadowing is consistency. Try to practice shadowing every day, even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes. Over time, you'll notice improvements in your pronunciation and fluency. Section 5. Combining audiobooks and shadowing for maximum effect. Now, what if we combine both techniques? Imagine listening to an audiobook and shadowing the narrator at the same time. This combination is a powerful way to improve your English, because you're working on both your listening and speaking skills at once. Here's how to do it. 1. Pick an audiobook with a clear narrator. Find an audiobook where the narrator speaks clearly and at a moderate speed. This will make it easier for you to follow along and shadow their speech. 2. Listen to a short section and repeat. Start by listening to a short section of the audiobook. Pause after each sentence or segment and repeat what you just heard. Try to match the narrator's pronunciation and rhythm as closely as possible. 3. Gradually increase the length once you're comfortable with short segments. Try increasing the length of the sections you shadow. Over time, You'll be able to shadow entire chapters and understand more complex language. Conclusion. In this podcast, we've covered two powerful techniques for improving your English: audiobooks and shadowing. By using these techniques, you can improve your pronunciation, fluency, vocabulary, and listening skills. Remember, language learning is a journey, and it takes time, but by listening to audiobooks and practicing shadowing, you'll see rapid improvement and feel more confident in your English. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll continue practicing these techniques every day. Keep up the great work, and see you in the next episode.